You're watching the Weather Channel. Weather you can always turn to for accurate, dependable weather forecasts 24 hours a day.
And thank you for tuning in to the Weather Channel on this Saturday morning. It's the 13th day of March. Rick Griffin here along with Vivian Brown for this hour. Let's get a look at our satellite in motion. We have relatively quiet weather coming up in the west today. We have some clouds streaming in off the Pacific, but mainly high to mid-level clouds, and they're not expected to produce much in the way of precipitation. Midsection of the country cold, but mostly clear skies, as you can see on the satellite view. It's really the east, which is watching a very powerful late winter storm, now centered in the panhandle of Florida and destined to move on up the eastern seaboard today. It is a very, very strong system. It'll bring with it heavy rain and snow, scattered thunderstorms, strong and gusty winds to hurricane force along the east coast, and that will cause, of course, coastal flooding and beach erosion along the east coast beaches. So we will keep you posted, and this will be our main focus today, this massive east coast storm. Let's get a look at our surface map this morning, and we start with the northeast part of the nation, where the weather's quiet in New England right now. The clouds are beginning to roll in from the south, but the snow is mainly to your south at the moment. It's beginning to snow at New York City and Philadelphia, snowing at the nation's capital, and snowing at a good clip into West Virginia, Western Virginia, and the western portions of the Carolinas. Heavy snow now, Asheville, North Carolina, Chattanooga, Tennessee. The rain changing to snow and sleet around Atlanta, Georgia, in the north part of the state at the moment, and very heavy snow and strong gusty winds in Alabama. There are actually thunderstorms taking place with the snow at places like Huntsville, Montgomery, and Birmingham, as well as Tuscaloosa, and the snow is all the way down to the Gulf Coast at Pensacola in Florida. Mobile, Alabama also seeing snow, and New Orleans had some snow earlier tonight. Very intense low pressure now located near Tallahassee. Again, it should scoot across southeast Georgia and on up through the Carolinas to about the nation's capital by later on this afternoon. We'll have, of course, all the details in the forecast coming up shortly. Check out some satellite views. This one of the storm system in the southeast. Watch it developing here in the Gulf. The classic comma-shaped cloud cover, which denotes a well-developed and very powerful low-pressure system. Plenty of moisture with this. Plenty of energy in the upper levels of the atmosphere with a major trough of low pressure digging in. Warm air coming up ahead of it. Cold air coming down behind. A massive late winter storm system. This is going to be one of the strongest storms ever in many, many years along the East Coast. We have had thunderstorms in Florida. Unfortunately, some fatalities with some tornado activity around Cross City and a wind gust to 90 miles an hour at Tampa as these storms came through earlier tonight. They're on the Gold Coast now, and they're headed out to sea. Behind it, some colder and gusty winds across the Sunshine State. This is rain. It's at times heavy around Columbia up towards Anderson, South Carolina. Again, a rain, sleet, snow mix in Atlanta, but snow and heavy snow at times over Alabama, northward through Tennessee, at Chattanooga and Knoxville, and at Asheville, North Carolina. And again, the snow stretched south to Pensacola in Florida. If you live down there and you haven't looked out the window this morning, it might be very interesting to do just that, because it doesn't often snow in Florida, and especially in the month of March. Now, we still have a tornado watch for Florida until 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. But again, as you saw on radar, the most intense storms are beginning to move off into the Atlantic at this time. So I'm sure that watch area will be modified and slimmed down and then eliminated later on this morning as the cold front sweeps on through. We have some light snow flurries in the Ohio Valley, but it's quiet weather, mainly quiet and cold through the plains, and the west is tranquil in comparison to what's going on in the eastern part of the country. Once again, a look at our national map. High pressure through here. Big storm now, western Florida. Going to track up the eastern seaboard today, and again be a very, very powerful system. 32 now at New York City and at the nation's capital, where, by the way, blizzard warnings are in effect today. That goes for Philadelphia and Baltimore as well. That means, of course, that the snow is going to pick up, the winds will be extremely strong, and the blowing and drifting snow will be coming along. Just overall, very nasty conditions. If you don't have to go anywhere today, just stick around and keep it tuned here to the Weather Channel, and we'll let you know the latest. And we will, starting at 7 a.m., have complete special coverage of this East Coast storm that is beginning at 7 o'clock Eastern Time this morning. 28 snow at Nashville. It's 4 at Des Moines, 11 Denver, 57 degrees out at San Francisco. Let's go on and take a look at the forecast. Here it is by this afternoon. The storm just right around the nation's capital. By Sunday morning, it's over the Hudson Valley of New York State with strong winds and snow. The heaviest snow west of the storm center around Syracuse and Rochester. And again, there's going to be a widespread area of a foot or more of new snow from the North Georgia mountains on into much of New York State during the lifetime of this storm system. Here it is, Blue Ridge, northeast Georgia, through West Virginia into Pennsylvania, New York State, and New England. Snowfall amounts of a foot or more. Outside this white shaded band, lesser amounts of snow expected, and probably quite a bit of rain along with gusty winds along the immediate eastern seaboard. Highs today dropping into the 20s over the far south, actually falling temperatures over North Georgia today, dipping to the 20s by the afternoon hours, while the west will be pretty nice, 70s and 80s. Overnight lows tonight, sub-zero here to the teens and 20s in the south, and Sunday a chilly day in the east while it stays mild in the west. Departing storm on Sunday, while early in the week the nation is fairly quiet.
Mothers have learned from countless doctors and pharmacists to take care of coughs with Robitussin. And they've taken this advice home. Robitussin, recommended by Dr. Mom. Ask your doctor or pharmacist.
When Jeffrey catches a cold, we see the pediatrician.
I love my pediatrician. He's my dad.
We have a live-in doctor. He recommends Dimetap Elixir.
For colds, doctors recommend Dimetap for their families and yours.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the current local conditions. The regional forecast. Your local 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. Your local radar showing any precipitation and its movement during the past 90 minutes. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen. For the latest winter weather forecasts, cold weather alerts, and wind chill forecasts, tune to the Weather Channel at 48 past the hour for the winter weather update, only on the Weather Channel.
And we've seen quite a bit of snow already in the ski resorts over the east, and guess what? More heavy snow on the way with this major storm system off in the Gulf of Mexico. And I guess the ski resort owners and the ski enthusiasts are saying can't hurt. So we're talking about heavy snow definitely in the forecast as the area of low pressure in the Gulf of Mexico moves off to the northeast. Regional radar already shows some snow in the area of Pennsylvania. Sunday River, Maine, they're reporting packed powder conditions, about 73 trails open, a base of 96 inches, 2 inches of new snow we've seen there, about 8 inches of new snow at Okemo, Vermont, and a look at the latest conditions at Waterville Valley and Sugarbush and even Bowen Mountain, Michigan reporting groomed conditions. Take a look at the potential for additional snow as we go through the next 12 to 24 hours. Anywhere from a foot, a big stretch of a foot of snow from Maine back into New York and the Laurel Mountains, the Allegheny Mountains in Pennsylvania, all the way to West Virginia. So snow conditions, skiing conditions looking great for the ski resorts over the Northeast and New England right on through the rest of this weekend. Stay with us. Current weather comes your way.
For ski conditions at over 400 other ski areas, call 1-900-WEATHER.
5-year-old Melanie lives in a shack in the Philippines. At night, she eats only a bowl of rice and goes to sleep on a floor mat. Melanie desperately needs nutritious food, medicine, and a chance to go to school. You can sponsor a child like Melanie for only $14 a month. Call now for your free information kit, including the photo and personal history of the child who needs you. There's no obligation, but if you decide to sponsor this child, you'll get so much more. And during the year, you'll receive 2 personal letters from your child. You'll watch your child blossom and grow strong because of your love and all that your $14 a month provides: food and clothing, medical care, and education. For your free, no-obligation sponsorship information, call 1-800-641-1200. That's 1-800-641-1200.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. The current local radar showing any precipitation in your area. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
Now for the Cyanide Society, here's Michael Learned.
Because I have sinus problems just like you, I want you to know about Maximum Strength Cyanide Gel Caps, the most potent pain and pressure reliever in cyanide history, combined with state-of-the-art gel cap technology. So you get powerful sinus relief that's easy to swallow and won't cause drowsiness. It really works for me, and I hurt just like you. Maximum Strength Cyanide Gel Caps, the potency of cyanide in a patented gel cap.
And Weather and Your Health is sponsored by Cyanide Gel Caps, the potency of cyanide in a patented gel cap. Let's talk about influenza first of all, and we'll look at the maps for today. Here we go, the influenza map, and skip by that pretty quick, but we have quite a few states that are reporting widespread outbreaks of the flu bug. Not unusual for late in the winter. Now, pain indices today. Be a little high in the west, above normal here in northern California, into Nevada and Utah, eastbound into Colorado and northern New Mexico, but especially the case in the east. We have a massive low pressure system that's has developed in the Florida Panhandle. Very, very low pressure with that, and the pressure is going to get even deeper or lower as the day goes on and the storm moves through Georgia up to about the nation's capital by later on this afternoon. So if you're affected by low air pressure, it gives you aches and pains, a headache, or your knee or your back aches, that probably will be the case today along the East Coast with a very, very low pressure and the big storm tracking northeast up the eastern seaboard. Respiratory distress today and no air stay.
Call the Weather Channel Connection, 1-900-WEATHER, before you hit the road, and you'll be prepared for any weather Old Man Winter brings.
At S&M Pontiac Buick Oldsmobile GMC truck, the hardest thing about buying a car is deciding which one of the new 1993 models you want. The Grand Am's anti-lock braking system is a customer stopper. There's Buick's symbol of quality, the LeSabre, and the sporty and stylish Oldsmobile Achieva, or the Jimmy 4-door, perfect for family or business. See and drive all four in one place. S&M Pontiac Buick Oldsmobile GMC truck on Route 23 in Sussex. What would happen to your family if you could no longer provide for them?
What would happen to your family if you were no longer here? Please consider these low-cost term insurance rates that follow.
For peace of mind, call the Malk Agency today at 729-9080 for a no-obligation price quote. At the Malk Agency, we can structure your future plan so you have peace of mind. It won't be long before they're ready to go to college. Plan ahead. Call the Malk Agency. For almost 2 decades, the Malk Agency has provided Sussex County with all of your insurance, retirement planning, and college funding needs. Invest with peace of mind. Invest with the Malk Agency.
Watch the 5-Day Business Planner here on the Weather Channel at 20 minutes after every hour. You get a comprehensive national report that covers the forecast over the next 5 days. Watch the 5-Day Business Planner coming up soon on the Weather Channel. Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Special regional information. The regional forecast.
The average person spends 1/3 of their life sleeping, and that's why you should consider buying a Wonder Bed. Wonder Beds electrically adjust to any position for reading or watching TV, and it's been proven to help people with medical problems such as bad backs, hiatal hernias, poor circulation, and irregular breathing. With Wonder Bed, there's no pressure or obligation. If you're sick of companies that won't give you the price until you've had a high-pressure demonstration in your home, call Wonder Bed now at 1-800-543-0020 for your free video, brochure, and price list. You'll see our quality and prices are unbeatable. Wonder Beds come in all sizes and can be connected to your head and footboards. The motor and mattress have a 15-year, 100% non-prorated guarantee with nationwide service. Wonder Bed also guarantees satisfaction. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee if for whatever reason you're not totally happy. So call 1-800-543-0020 to receive the free video, brochure, and price list through the mail at no cost or obligation.
Checking now the winter storm. Let's show you what it looks like at the surface map as we indicate to you what's going on. The area of low pressure is very low for this time of year. Some 900 millibars as it continues to move off to the east. And I'll tell you what, it is intensifying, and as it moves north, it will get even lower and deeper. And we're talking about blizzard-like conditions. Blizzard warnings have been issued for a good part of New York and Pennsylvania, even back into Ohio, down to our nation's capital. And we have blizzard-like conditions around the central parts of Alabama. We're in Birmingham, as much as 9 inches of snow has already fallen. We're still watching this area of low pressure very closely for you. A little bit closer here shows the center of the low in the panhandle of Florida. We do have some strong thunderstorms and possibility of tornadoes here ahead of the cold front as it moves through Florida. As a matter of fact, a tornado watch remains in effect until 7 o'clock local time for much of the peninsula. If you live in this area, please be prepared for that. Also, the possibility of coastal flooding for the west coast as the frontal boundary moves off the peninsula, and then with those easterly winds coming up against the coastal waters, coastal flood warnings and watches have been issued from Maine down to Virginia.
For worry-free driving anywhere in any car, you could take along your personal pit crew, your own map expert, your own 24-hour emergency dispatcher, even your own tow truck. Or you could carry the Amico Motor Club card. Right now, you can try the Amico Motor Club for just $5. You'll get 3 service-packed months, plus these free AM/FM headphones. Amico Motor Club gives you toll-free, round-the-clock emergency assistance anywhere in the United States. Valuable travel services, lodging discounts, even lockout protection. Enjoy all this and more, and get your money back if you're not absolutely satisfied. Call now. 1-800-538-5775. Get your free AM/FM headphones, your membership kit and card, and even a free additional membership for your spouse or other household member. Call right now for your $5 trial. 1-800-538-5775.
What do you do when you travel? What do you see when you travel? Then what makes you think the Travel Channel is just travel? The Travel Channel, more than a place to go, it's the place to be.
For more information on the Travel Channel, please call your local cable system.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. The current local radar showing any precipitation in your area. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
21 past the hour. Let's check on the 5-day business planner. Good thing it's the weekend because the East Coast is going to get hit by a powerful late winter storm system today that's going to cause all sorts of problems. But the weather will quiet down, as you'll see in the 5-day outlook. Now let's check it out today. Again, we have a massive storm in the east. It has developed this morning in the Florida Panhandle. Very low air pressure so far, down to 28.8 inches of mercury. If you have a home barometer, that's way down in the stormy weather section. And the pressure with the storm will continue to fall as it heads up the East Coast to the Carolinas at midday and to about the nation's capital later on this afternoon. North and west of the storm, snow and heavy snow, which could be measured in feet, especially across the spine of the Appalachians from western North Carolina up through West Virginia and into Pennsylvania. And of course, the snow getting heavier and the winds increasing in New England and New York later on today, especially. Snow's already started in New York City. High pressure through the midsection of the nation, mostly high pressure in the west, though a few showers will work into northern California and the Pacific Northwest later today and right on through Sunday morning. But basically, the west will be high and dry and mild with 70s in California's Central Valley and the 80s in the Southwest deserts, 30s and 40s across the plateau. Cold air today coming down behind the developing storm as it tracks up the East Coast, so readings will fall into the 20s during the day across North Georgia and northern sections of Alabama, and 30s down to the Gulf Coast. It's already in the 30s and snowing at places like Pensacola in Florida this morning. Overnight lows tonight, very wintry eastern two-thirds of the country. Now, tomorrow will be continued very cold in the east and quite mild in the west. Now, as the days go on, we see a bit of moderation through the midsection of the country. 60s move up to Denver and then move back south again on Tuesday. But 60s return to places like Memphis and Nashville that have seen snow in the last 24 hours. And 70s return to Shreveport and Jackson and on to New Orleans. New Orleans had a little snow, but spring-like weather will be back with you the middle and the latter portion of the week. Now, precipitation on Sunday. Big storm moving on up through New York State and New England with snow and snow shower activity. And even though the precipitation will be here, the winds will be far-reaching down into northern Florida on Sunday. The tranquil weather through the middle of the country, while to the west you see a developing front bringing rain and mountain snow, which will persist but weaken somewhat into the day on Monday. Another low-pressure trough dipping into the nation's midsection Tuesday and Wednesday, bringing another round of rain and snow showers to the Mississippi Valley and the east.
On that very special day, the music must be magic. Now you can have all the most popular wedding songs in one great collection. The Wedding Album from Quality Records. On 2 LPs, 2 cassettes, or 1 CD. I see trees of green. The Wedding Album is only available in this special TV offer. Here's how to order.
Have your credit card ready and call 1-800-292-6700 or send $14.95 for LPs or cassettes, $16.95 for CD, plus $4 shipping to The Wedding Album, P.O. Box 2001-WC, Murray Hill Station, New York, New York.
Well, this is a major storm developing. Not only is it a winter storm, but we've had some very violent weather associated with it in terms of thunderstorms and tornadoes. As a matter of fact, the latest satellite picture shows clouds very ominous looking over the central and southern peninsula, but rightfully so. We have a line of strong thunderstorms moving through the central and southern parts of the state this morning. You can see the yellows and the greens right here, the strong line as it moved through Melbourne and Vero Beach, and just off the coast here, West Palm Beach, some very strong storms and heavy rain still lingering around Miami and Key West here with the strong storms. We have the colder air now pulling in over the Panhandle, and believe it or not, this is in the form of snow from Pensacola and even around Crestview here. Very light snow, but nevertheless, we have a very, very large variance in temperatures here and weather patterns with thunderstorms to the south and snow to the north. So you know this is a violent situation. Water temperature is still in the 70s across the southern parts of the state, but about 61 degrees in Panama City.
5-year-old Melanie lives in a shack in the Philippines. At night, she eats only a bowl of rice and goes to sleep on a floor mat. Melanie desperately needs nutritious food, medicine, and a chance to go to school. You can sponsor a child like Melanie for only $14 a month. Call now for your free information kit, including the photo and personal history of the child who needs you. There's no obligation, but if you decide to sponsor this child, you'll get so much more. And during the year, you'll receive 2 personal letters from your child. You will watch your child blossom and grow strong because of your love and all that your $14 a month provides: food and clothing, medical care, and education. For your free, no-obligation sponsorship information, call 1-800-641-1200. That's 1-800-641-1200.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel.
Well, get set. We have a major winter storm beginning to affect the tri-state area. Snow has started. Snow will be increasing during the day. A blizzard warning has been issued, believe it or not, and coastal flood warnings are also in effect for today and tonight. We'll spell out all the details coming up here on the tri-state forecast. Let's get the details on the normal highs and lows first. It's kind of unimportant today, but we'll check them out real quick. And the records, which include an 85, look at that. Can spring be far away? That was set just 3 years ago, back in 1990. So far, no measurable precipitation, but precipitation is on our doorstep at the moment. In fact, light snow falling at Central Park. 96% the relative humidity. It's an even freezing, and we have an east wind at 8, while the pressure is falling slowly now, but it'll fall very rapidly later today. Current reading is 30.11 inches of mercury. Around the rest of the region, light snow. Well, just clouds up here around Newburgh and New Haven, but snow is falling at White Plains and on south to Atlantic City over towards Philadelphia and Trenton and Morristown, and out on the island at Islip, it's snowing and 31 degrees. Satellite picture this morning shows the bright white clouds spreading up from the south. Now, even though the snow is beginning, the low pressure area is still quite a distance away. It's actually right over southern Georgia this morning and should be up around the nation's capital by this afternoon and track on through the upstate part of New York by this time tomorrow morning. So we have all sorts of weather, a variety of weather conditions coming our way today. First of which is snow. And here it is on the regional radar tracking up our way, snowing throughout much of the tri-state region from New York City southward. It's snowing in the nation's capital, around Salisbury, south to Richmond, where it mixes with rain, and the snow is flying into the mountains of western North Carolina and North Georgia, too. All the precipitation spreading off to the north and east at about 30 miles an hour, and the snow, of course, will be increasing in coverage and intensity as the morning goes along. Back to the maps. We can just see the northern fringes of the developing storm here. Again, it's already a very powerful system and will just get deeper or stronger with time as it tracks up right towards Washington, D.C. Now, later today, we could see heavy snow. We will see strong winds, perhaps gusting to hurricane force near the coast out on Long Island Sound. So be aware that this is going to be a very windy system. Snow, possibly heavy initially. The snow may mix with and change to rain around New York City and along the coast, but should stay mostly snow over the interior sections with some very heavy accumulations expected. Here's the position Sunday morning up around Albany. The low pressure continuing to be very, very strong and should be pressing up into the St. Lawrence Valley on Monday.
This is the Weather Channel. Weather you can always turn to for accurate weather forecasts at your convenience 24 hours a day.
And we talk about the winter storm that's developing this late winter season across the south, moving through the Gulf of Mexico. It's a very vigorous storm. We also have the cold air filtering down out of Canada with that cold air in place, plus the area of low pressure developing in the Gulf of Mexico. That's going to spell a big mess in the middle Atlantic coast all the way to the northeast. And we've had problems across the southeast, be it in the form of thunderstorms and tornadoes in Florida, and even snow across northern Florida into Alabama and Mississippi. As a matter of fact, Birmingham has picked up as much as 9 inches of snow. We'll continue to watch the area of low pressure, and believe it or not, it continues to intensify and deepen. About 970 some millibars right now. It'll deepen to some 950 millibars as it moves to the north. As a matter of fact, the lower the pressure, the stronger the storm. And that's what we're expecting, a big major storm as we go through the next 24 hours. That can spell heavy snow, strong gusty winds in excess of some 30, 40, 50, 60, and even 70 miles an hour hurricane force winds. Low wind chills, too, with those north winds wrapping around the low pressure system, and soaking rains and severe thunderstorms again across Florida. Let's show it to you on the satellite picture as we go to the low pressure system. Here it is. Basically, the center of the low is right here in northern Florida. Out ahead of it, we have some very strong thunderstorms moving across the southern peninsula. But wrapping on the backside of the low, we have the colder air pulling down, and we have reports of snow over the extreme western panhandle, and it is still snowing in eastern Mississippi, across a good part of Alabama, even central Alabama, in Montgomery and Birmingham. And all of this is moving east, and we're talking about Atlanta and Birmingham about on the same latitude line, even though Atlanta is a little bit farther north, about 1 degree or so, but we do anticipate the snow to filter in across the northern parts of Georgia as we go through the next couple of hours. As a matter of fact, Atlanta reporting some steady ice pellets right now. Let's show you the severe side of the storm in terms of thunderstorms and tornadoes. This radar shows a line of thunderstorms moving off the coast here. Mainly the brunt of the heavier thunderstorms have cleared the coast, but we still have the possibility of tornadoes. So this tornado watch has been issued until 7 o'clock local time. If you live in this part of Florida, then you definitely need to be prepared. Take the necessary precautions, because these thunderstorms can and occasionally do produce tornadoes. We've already had as much as 3 fatalities with the severe weather across Florida, so something we'll definitely take seriously. A little bit closer shows a line of thunderstorms that has just basically moved off the coast, but we still have reports of heavy rain around West Palm Beach and Miami down to Key West. Again, most of this is snow in Pensacola, Florida. Perhaps an inch before all said and done, but you go a little farther north and you pick up snow around Columbus, Mississippi, even Meridian still reporting some light snow. It is snowing heavily in Birmingham right now. Visibility's less than 1/2 of a mile, so the blowing snow in that area. Even Anniston and Gadsden and Tuscaloosa, Montgomery reporting the snow. We have a little bit of light snow in extreme northern Georgia, the mountains here, but it's mixing in with some freezing rain around Atlanta. But again, all of this cold air and snow is headed in your direction, so it's definitely going to be a wintry scene across northern Georgia, much like we've seen in Mississippi. This is Tupelo across the extreme northeast parts of the state, so get ready. Oh, late winter storm across the south. Can you believe that? We have about 8 more days, and it is officially spring, but definitely moving out with a blast with the heavy snow across the south. A little farther north now, and all of this is snow in Virginia, West Virginia, around the nation's capital, Dover, Delaware, even New York City at the John F. Kennedy and LaGuardia airports. We have snow in Binghamton and Elmira. As a matter of fact, winter storm warnings in effect for a good part of New York and Pennsylvania. Even though New England is in the clear right now, all of this is moving to the north, again with that deepening area of low pressure. We have the clockwise winds going around this high pressure system, and with the deepening low moving up the coast and the counterclockwise winds, that means some very strong persistent easterly winds up against the coast. Coastal flood watches and warnings have been issued from Maine all the way to Virginia. So you definitely want to be wary of that. This is a major storm, folks. We're talking about as much as a foot, perhaps from central Maine all the way down into the Piedmont area of North and South Carolina and the southern Appalachians. You even see northern Georgia in the 3 to 6 inch range, and the central parts of the state perhaps 1 to 3 inches. So even though it's not snowing right now in Atlanta, it's definitely on the way with the heavy snow back in Birmingham and eastern Mississippi. The satellite picture shows that once you get away from this area of low pressure and you run into clear skies. From northern Texas, even Denver reporting clear skies this morning, as is Bismarck, North Dakota. Then we pick up some high-level clouds off the west coast, but nothing going on in comparison to this major storm across the southeast. Take a look at the current temperatures. Even though we have clear skies, it's fairly cold. Omaha only 10 degrees. 10 degrees right now in Bismarck, North Dakota. And notice to the south now, Montgomery, it's 31 degrees. 35 right now in Atlanta. Temperatures have been dropping as the colder air moves in. We still have some warm temperatures in Florida, but of course, the thunderstorms moving through that area, literally freezing in the nation's capital, and to New York, it's 31 degrees. Here's the big picture, the way it stands right now, and sticking out like a sore thumb of this area of low pressure. Let's check the forecast for you. Here's midday. We'll track the storm off to the north, and to the north and west of this area of low pressure is where we anticipate the heaviest amounts of snow. Again, it will continue to deepen as it moves northeast off the coast of Virginia, let's say, and Delaware here. So widespread heavy snow in New York and Pennsylvania all the way to the southern Appalachians. By the way, it's going to be very, very windy tomorrow morning with those northwest winds wrapping around the area of low pressure. So though the snow will be ending in western North Carolina and South Carolina and northern Georgia, it's going to be blustery and very winter-like. High pressure in the nation's midsection. There you see, with those high-level clouds, we'll get a little bit of light moisture developing here. This is mainly liquid equivalent to the heavy snow now, a foot from central Maine all the way to the eastern parts of Tennessee. Afternoon highs today, not getting out of the 20s and 30s over northern Georgia into Mississippi and Alabama, and you know it's going to be cold overnight.
If the open road's been calling you, Greyhound's got the answer. Take any trip up to 500 miles for just $49 or less when you buy your ticket 3 days in advance. Every seat, every bus, every day. Greyhound's got great low fares to the places you really want to go. So if you don't want to miss a great deal, don't miss the bus.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the current local conditions. The regional forecast. Your local 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. Your local radar showing any precipitation and its movement during the past 90 minutes. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
Now on video, 45 minutes of fast tornado action, plus the 1993 tornado calendar. Just $19.95. Call 1-800-525-6600.
Once in your lifetime comes the magic of truly great music. loved by millions around the world. These are the greatest romantic melodies of our time. 40 of today's most memorable and relaxing hits. Piano by Candlelight. On 3 cassettes for only $19.99, or 2 compact discs for just $24.99.
To order Piano by Candlelight, use your credit card and call 1-800-648-1700 or send $19.99 for 3 cassettes or $24.99 for 2 compact discs, plus $4 shipping and handling to Piano by Candlelight, P.O. Box 11066, Department 140, Chicago, Illinois, 60611.
Well, on this day in 1924, heavy snow blanketed central and northern Alabama with 6.5 inches at Birmingham. Well, it's heavy snow in Alabama today, as a matter of fact, and in other parts of the east, as you'll see on our weekend travel forecast.
Thirsty. There we go. I had breast cancer and surgery didn't stop it. It became bone cancer. I was 42 years old and I wasn't sure that I'd see 43. I wasn't even sure how many more days like this that I'd get to spend with my grandchildren. What I was sure of is that I wanted a hospital where they didn't rely only on drugs and where they used nutrition to build up the body's own defenses. I came to cancer treatment centers in August of 1989, and what I was searching for, I felt they had. I was right. They always treated me with concern and kindness and never failed to be there for me.
Call us, Cancer Treatment Centers of America, 1-800-365-9233.
They made this day possible, and I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. The current local radar showing any precipitation in your area. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen. From the Weather Channel, America's primary source for weather information, the Weather Classroom, a complete unit for teaching basic meteorology, climatology, and our environment. The Weather Classroom, an 80-page, fully illustrated textbook workbook with experiments and activities to let students enjoy a hands-on, up-close experience with weather. The Weather Classroom, a regular on-air program with exciting and dramatic examples of weather in action. Find out how you can offer the Weather Classroom to your students. Contact your local cable operator right away. It's not easy knowing how to dress your kids for school every day. Will it rain? Will it storm? Will it be cool? Will it be warm? Don't despair. Dressing your kids for school can be downright elementary when you watch the school day forecast on the Weather Channel. So make it a rule to see us before you see them off. The school day forecast, weekday mornings, 35 minutes after the hour on the Weather Channel. Weather you can always turn to.
When I get a cold, I see a doctor. I'm married to one.
My wife recommends Dimetap Extend Tabs.
Doctors have recommended the Dimetap brand over 200 million times. Adult-strength Extend Tabs relieve your cold symptoms for 12 hours with one of the least sedating non-prescription antihistamines.
My wife is a doctor, so I can really trust what she tells me.
Doctors recommend Dimetap for their families and yours. For 4-hour cold relief, try new Dimetap liquid gels.
Okay, checking on the radars across the country in the satellite picture. Of course, we'll zoom in on that storm system in the Gulf of Mexico that's been of main interest over the last couple of days as it developed out west and then worked its way across the Gulf. It's located right about here, the center of the low anyway, over northern Florida, the panhandle here. And breaking out ahead of it, we have some very strong thunderstorms. Thunderstorms that are capable and occasionally do produce tornadoes. So a tornado watch remains in effect for the central and southern peninsula. We've already had as much as 3 fatalities because of the severe weather crossing over Florida. So please be very, very careful here. If you live in this region of Florida, you need to be prepared to take the necessary precautions because these thunderstorms can and occasionally do produce tornadoes, even though it looks like the heavier line of thunderstorms has already moved off the coast. Still lagging behind, though, some heavy rain across southern Florida. Believe it or not, we're talking snow over the panhandle here with a colder air as far south as the Gulf. This is snow in Pensacola, even around Mobile, Alabama. We've had as much as 9 inches in Birmingham.
Skiers, call 1-900-WEATHER for detailed regional ski forecast to help you choose when and where to ski. 95 cents a minute, 1-900-WEATHER.
People are amazed at how much furniture we have here at Downing. Well, our store is actually much bigger than they think. It's 2 buildings with 4 floors of quality furniture at fantastic prices. We've got bedrooms, cedar chests, blocks, curio cabinets, desks, dinettes, dining rooms, end tables, entertainment centers, lamps, lane recliners, rocking chairs, sleep sofas, therapeutic bedding, and more. And if we don't have it on the floor, our staff will pull out all stops to find it for you. Downing's Furniture, Route 94 in the Monroe section of Sparta.
Hidden behind this neighborhood tavern is a beautiful restaurant. Yes, it's Unky's Place. Our dining room seats up to 70 people with its own separate entrance, with a wide variety of specials to choose from our famous 32-ounce steak for $14.99 to our steak and 6-ounce lobster tail, or our seafood delights from $10.99. Enjoy friendly service at Unky's Place, where you're treated like one of the family. Unky's Place is your place for affordable fireside dining. 2 Tamarack Road across from Cranberry Lake, Byram.
You're watching the Weather Channel for accurate forecasts at your convenience. Weather you can always turn to. Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Special regional information. The regional forecast. The current local radar showing any precipitation in your area. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
Mothers have learned from countless doctors and pharmacists to take care of coughs with Robitussin. And they've taken this advice home. Robitussin, recommended by Dr. Mom. Ask your doctor or pharmacist.
What do you do with your yard waste? Corner it and ignore it? Bag it and drag it? Or have you tried ways of composting that take forever and really stink? What can you do with your yard waste? Now with the unique Kemp Compost Tumbler, you can turn yard waste into garden gold, natural, sweet-smelling fertilizer. Simply load your compost tumbler with anything organic. Close the door and give it a quick turn. And a good turn every day. Then, in only 14 days, you'll have nutrient-rich, all-natural fertilizer. The Kemp Compost Tumbler. Try it at home, risk-free for 30 days. There's no obligation. Call this toll-free number now for more information and find out how to get all the natural fertilizer you'll need to give your garden a real boost, whether you're a new gardener or a real pro. Turn to the Kemp Compost Tumbler for all your yard waste disposal problems. Call now for more information.
10 minutes before the hour on this Saturday morning, it's time to check on the winter storm update. And we do have a winter storm to tell you about. Low pressure now moving through the southeast part of the nation. The low center now has moved from the Florida Panhandle over into South Georgia. It is a very intense storm. We have rain and thunderstorms around it and some hefty snows falling from the central and southern Appalachians across the north metro area of Atlanta and on back into Alabama. And even in Florida, places like Crestview and Pensacola have had accumulating snows this morning. I think around Crestview it's been an inch or two in the last couple of hours. So very unusual even during December, January, and February, let alone the month of March. We've had some heavy-duty thunderstorms over Florida. Around Cross City, some fatalities due to tornadoes last night and wind gusts of about 90 miles an hour or so in the Tampa Bay area. And the strong storms, although most of the strong storms are offshore, a tornado watch does continue for this area until 7 o'clock local time this morning. Let's get a look at radar. Again, the heaviest of storms, again, appear to be off the Gold Coast headed out towards the Bahamas. But there is still that threat of severe weather, so we'll keep you posted on that. This is snow here and some heavy rain across the Carolinas. Heavy rain in the last hour at Anderson and Columbia in South Carolina, while it's snowing heavily at Asheville, at Chattanooga, at Birmingham, and about as far south as Montgomery in Alabama. And again, snow at Pensacola and at Crestview in western sections of Florida. Let's go back to the map. We have some winds around this system, so coastal flood watches are in effect Apalachicola to Cape Sable and from Little River Inlet up to Virginia Beach. Farther north, coastal flood warnings to Watch Hill, Rhode Island and the south coast of Massachusetts. Snowfall with this storm so far. Here are just a few amounts. Asheville, North Carolina, 9. Same for Birmingham. Birmingham's had 4 inches in the last 2 hours with heavy snow and thunder. Lynchburg, 5. 2 inches at Mobile, Alabama, right on the Gulf Coast. And Montgomery, Alabama, an inch of new snow, as well as Crestview, Florida. Let's check out the details. Where's the storm going? Well, here's the good morning forecast. And as we go through the good morning into the midday hours, we see low pressure in North Carolina by about lunchtime. From there it tracks up to just right around the nation's capital by later this afternoon. North and west of the storm, very strong, if not hurricane force easterly winds coming in off the Atlantic. It'll be a snow to rain situation near the coast, staying all snow inland with heavy snow amounts. A very good bet. Windy with snow diminishing in the southeast. The plains will be in good shape. The west looking okay today with just a few scattered showers. Northern California, Oregon, and northwest Nevada. Those showers may pick up a little bit overnight and into Sunday morning. By that time, our monster East Coast storm will be in the upstate New York, wrapped very tightly. Notice how close together the isobars are, the lines of equal pressure. That means very strong and gusty winds, and snow will continue, perhaps heavy, western and central New York down through western Pennsylvania. And along the Gulf Coast, high pressure will return with quiet but cold conditions in the morning. Temperatures well below freezing right along the Gulf Coast beaches with a cold air moving in. Precipitation in the east will be very heavy. And snowfall amounts, well, we've got a widespread area of 1 foot or more of snow from the North Georgia mountains all the way to northern Maine.
Mothers have learned from countless doctors and pharmacists to take care of coughs with Robitussin. And they've taken this advice home. Robitussin, recommended by Dr. Mom. Ask your doctor or pharmacist.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the current local conditions. The regional forecast. Your local 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. extended forecast. Your local radar showing any precipitation and its movement during the past 90 minutes. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen. Get a good start to your morning with this morning's weather. 25 and 58 minutes after every hour, between 5 a.m. and 11 a.m. Eastern, only on the Weather Channel.
And now it's time for the Michelin Drivers Report, brought to you by Michelin and your participating Michelin dealers.
And I'll tell you what, this storm means business. Michelin travel trouble spot is the southeast, of course, where we have the area of low pressure in the Gulf of Mexico. It's continuing to move out to the east, actually, and eventually the north, and it is deepening as it does so. Wintry travel to the west of it, and back into Alabama and northern Georgia, maybe along the coast, run into a little bit of light rain and the slushy conditions. We've even had some stronger storms move off the east coast of Florida this morning. So wintry travel extending from northern Georgia all the way to the coast of Maine and Massachusetts here. We even had reports of a little bit of light snow so far this morning in New York City. So rain to the south and along the coast. And later this evening, maybe a little bit of light rain will develop on the west coast. Nothing very consequential here, as a matter of fact, but we'll certainly focus our attention on the area of low pressure over the southeast. Tornado watch remains in effect for central and southern Florida until 7 local time, and watch out for the wind.
For regional Michelin drivers reports, call the Weather Channel Connection, 1-900-WEATHER.
Let it rain. Let it snow. You've got Michelin's new all-season MXV4. A luxury performance tire with a very special feature. Climate controlled. Michelin. Because so much is riding on your tires.
Find Michelin tires at this dealer near you because so much is riding on your tires.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel.
And good morning, Tri-State, on this wintry Saturday morning. We are talking serious stuff for today, folks. We have blizzard warnings in effect for today. We could see upwards of 1 foot of snow in the Tri-State area. If you have some travels, my suggestion is don't do it. Stay home today and maybe postpone your travels until tomorrow afternoon or even Monday, because we are talking some blustery winds, blizzard-like conditions, heavy snows, and there's definitely a possibility we're going to see beach erosion and also some power outages with this storm. So an intense storm indeed. Taking you to the almanac then, 49 and 34, no precipitation. Actually, we've had some light snow over the last couple of hours in the Tri-State region, so that's just accumulating slightly, but that's definitely going to change the next several hours as we watch this thing move up the coast. 32 degrees currently in Central Park. We've got winds out of the east at 8 miles per hour. Enjoy it for the time being, because those winds are going to be coming in out of the east and gusting upwards of 75 miles an hour as this thing comes on through. Winds are the skies right now. We have some light snow in the area. That basically is the story across Long Island and the northern parts of New Jersey. The heavier snows are definitely to our south right now. 28 currently in White Plains, 32 as you head over toward Tetersboro, and we've got cloudy skies to the north. So a serious situation indeed. Let's take you to the satellite picture right now, and we'll show you the explosive development of the storm as it's heading on through. Right now, the area of low pressure is about right over Tallahassee, Florida, and we have thunder snow in the southern part of the United States this morning. Mobile, Alabama, down near the Gulf, has already picked up 2 inches of snow. So shows the intensity of this thing and the cold air associated with that. And this whole situation is moving into our area. Blizzard warnings across the entire northeastern United States. Some locales are going to expect upwards of 2 to 3 feet of snow from this thing, possibly one of the strongest storms we've seen in the last century, I would say. Here's the snow as it starts to move into the area. We can already see the snow start to creep up in the Tri-State region. We've got snow, light snow occurring right now around LaGuardia, JFK and starting to move up toward Binghamton. And this thing will intensify as it continues to move to the north and east. Take you back to the maps then, and we'll show you here. Our low pressure is still well to the south, but that snow is already starting to scoot its way up the east coast. So I would say by noon today, we'll start to see the snows pick up, and then over the afternoon hours, forget it as far as traveling goes, because this thing is very intense as it's coming on through. By tomorrow morning, we'll have low pressure basically right over us. So we're going to have the winds, the coastal flooding, and all the flood warnings and blizzard conditions still with us through tomorrow morning. Even into the afternoon hours, we'll still be dealing with this very strong wind. Situation is very serious, folks. Take it that way. 36 for Clifton today with light snow throughout the area. We'll have the wind tonight and wind through Monday.